Hello everyone, it's Cheryl Millett here, live at 5 Mondays. Wow, that week went by, and I'm sure all of you had your unique experience with it, whether that means family, less family, still traveling, or less traveling. It sure seems to be the former, where people did less traveling and they were smaller groups. But here we are, live at 5, all things healthy, and we're just getting caught up. So after 1 week, it's been ongoing news of very similar topics. Interestingly enough, there is still the election in the U.S. still going on, and it's not over till it's over, as they say, or it's not settled until it's settled. So in a lot of ways, we can spend every day getting caught up on what's going on in the U.S. election, or at some point it's all going to iron itself out, and we need to spend time on what is more important or what is in front of us, kind of thing. So here's what's in front of my eyes, what I'm seeing, and I kind of use these because the light is not that great, really. If we think about light as in office light or house lights. Hi, Angel. We think of lamps, we think of all those indoor lights. I have to tell you, against the sunshine for reading, they hold no water, nothing. The sunshine in the summer, you could go out, if you have a book, and you can be blinded by the white pages in the book by being right out in the sun, in the sunlight, which works well if you need the glasses on. Or it's the sparkling sun off the water, blinding, or in the snow. So when you go skiing, you had to have goggles, because that light, that bright light, would just, I'm not going to say it actually would burn your cornea or do damage, but it's so bright, it just can't be healthy. So when I wear sunglasses, if I go back, the idea is to wear them when you have that kind of bright white light reflection, but great for reading by a window, even outside, but you don't have to have the direct sunlight. You can be somewhat in the shade. It is much better than the light bulbs and the light that we have inside. So as a result, if I'm reading inside, and now it's next to being dark out, using the pinhole glasses. If you've not heard about them, either from me or maybe somebody else, and these pinhole glasses, besides making me look really cool, and I'm just being funny, but the pinhole glasses, yes, they only come in black for those people who are asking. But the idea is, I'm going to bring them up close, is there's a bunch of pinholes. You don't end up looking through all the pinholes, but let's see if they come up. There you go. So you can see it. It's almost like a hard paper. I've had these for, I don't know, 15 years or more, but there's a lovely piece of paper in there that tells you that the glasses that we're so used to clinging on to because we can't see, why? Because we've tired our eyes and maybe not eating properly, so we can't see, this very blurry, whatever. And when we get into using the glasses, that is part of the eyeglass industry, don't mind me because I like to refer to things as in a business, then it only measures to 20 feet. That's the ideal. So like any magnifying glass, if you have a magnifying glass, get it out, and you will go up and down like this, and you'll know that there's the perfect distance with the magnifying glass to see things. It's the perfect distance. So with this whole, same with the glasses, what do you think they are? They're magnifying glasses at the end of the day, but they're perfect at a certain thing. So what happens to people who get onto the glasses is they're straining their eyes. Now, I didn't say it. Well, I did just say it, but I mean, it's in from an eye doctor, and this person who wanted to come clean and come through with the truth had said that's the truth of the matter. We are harming people's eyes by making them wear glasses. Then they're strain for the hours you have strain, and then they've got to get weaker glasses or stronger glasses because their eyes got weaker. And eye health is, to me, it's one of the top things that most people can appreciate. Now, people, you do get used to it. People do get used to wearing glasses to a certain degree, but I think most people will say, well, if I didn't ever have to wear glasses in my whole life, that would be great. It's almost like maybe it'd be a luxury by then. But not having had any glasses myself, yeah, they gave me some to read, but then this is Dr. Bates, and then locate them. And then the other thing that you can do is understand that eye exercises make a huge impact. Physically exercising, whether it's running, walking, whatever, you're not using your eyes. And there are muscles in there. And this is one. So just how are they used? You would wear them 20 to 30 minutes twice a day, something like that. Anytime you need them, you wouldn't use your reading glasses, and you couldn't use them walking. It's not safe because you're actually blocking out a lot of the light, and you're supposed to focus through one pinhole. So you couldn't ever, but they're under $40. I mean, that's Canadian. They're like 30 something Canadian dollars. They're peanuts compared to. So those are my reading glasses if I need them, and to practice and to keep the eyes. But also always need to be aware that we don't strain our eyes, that we don't tire our eyes, and that the things that help us to do that, like proper sunglasses when you're on the water, things like that. And I think the ones I've heard prefer is like the sports one. They come right across. So when I have my running ones, they come right across here. So there's no light pulling at your eyes one way and another way. And then there's different colors. And now people are getting into the screen protector glasses, those kind of things. Haven't got them often. Spending time on self-care in this lockdown, reading, meditating, walks, and relax. Yeah, breaking, taking pause, bringing in the silence, laughing. Like all of these things will bring us to, because it is about right now, standing up for ourselves, and as well taking care of ourselves. So uniquely, everybody is. So I want to show you something new because I don't think I've ever done it. I might have brought it up maybe in the past. I've definitely talked about wool before, and be it wool blankets in a cottage, are very, how can I say it? They don't hold moisture. So for a cottage who gets damp and stuff like that, wool blankets are ideal because they don't hold the moisture in that way, so they don't go moldy and they dry, and yet they keep the rest comfortable and warm. Yes, you got cedar with mothballs, those kind of things, because it's a natural fiber. So yes, there's that side of it too. But I might have mentioned the wool footwear. Now my friend just dropped them off here, and it sounds really cool in here, the acoustics, because of all this wool, all this fabric. And it's the same with any room. If you want to take away the echo, then that's a way to do it. The carpets, the curtains, the fabric, the books, like all of that will take down the echo. So coming in here, and then I can't remember, I was speaking on the phone to a friend, that's right, and I could tell it was just it's so cool. So I have, I don't know, 50 pairs, I haven't counted them, of these wool felt shoes, because I told just bring them in, because they were all out in Oakville, and as people were coming in to look at them, they had to get sizes and stuff and go back there. So I just said, bring whatever you can in your car, just drop them off, and as people passing by, or I'm talking to people and they want to come in, they can see what happens. So I want to show you these cool Finnish wool footwear, be it that not only Finland, but all the northern countries, including Russia and all the north, would wear not only animal, but wool in this case, to keep their feet warm and dry. And in this case, we're used to the wool felt inserts for some of the boots. That was that, but then they put on the covering and the rubber and everything for the slush and the water. It makes a lot of sense. So, but when it's winter, 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 or dry, 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 not slushy or rain, because these don't have the charm of the Finnish wool footwear is that you can see the wool. I'll tell you a cute story. My daughter had gotten a pair. She loved them. They were tall. They had a stripe up the side, which I don't know if I have a pair here. Yes, I do. Um, and so she was in the break, right, recess, whatever, and the teacher came up to her and she says, "What are you wearing your inserts for, the boot inserts?" And she says, "They're not. They're wool footwear." But the teacher made her feel so bad, embarrassed her so bad. And so she would have been in grade 6 at the time, I think, or 7, something like that. But she came home and she didn't wear them for years, really. Now she has a bit, but that's how crazy things can be. So I'm going to show you. First, I'm going to show you the men's, and these are lace up, but they're really cool. The coloring's good. Fashion Europe, you can think about, they're just more. I'd show you the green ones, but I didn't have as much room over here, so I'm going to show you the taupe ones. But again, just a couple of things. There are these two here. So I just wanted to show you just how thick they are, although this is not as thick as the boots, but they take, I'm just going to say 8 days to make. So one pair would take 8 days to make. As you can see, wool, I mean, this all has to be felted. So wool felt, most of the felt now, if you go into the craft stores, are polyester fake felt, but this is wool felt, and it takes 8 days. Part of it is to make, I don't know, maybe part of it's not to make the wool felt, but then they have to cut it up, and then they have to mold it, I guess you could say. So maybe it's all part of the process, 8 days. I'm not an expert on it, but this is like the men's lace-up ones, which come in black, yes, and they'll come in this very cool blue with a couple of blues and greens, a couple of greens, but definitely men's sizes. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to only show you the cool colors, because not saying that black isn't cool. Black has always been known as cool, but this is a yellow one with the green sole. So in the days when you have just a lot of snow, you didn't have the slushiness as what you get in the city. So you're out, and so the snow is dry, it's cold, and of course in Finland and the northern countries it would be cold, cold, cold. So that you could just wear these without the rubber in that kind of environment. Now, they may have had leather, like just a leather, simple leather, like the moccasins do. Do it, because that's as easy as it is. You don't make it too complicated. But yeah, so these are like regular $190, but she's selling them for 30, I think. The boots are 60, which they're up to $300. So they're not cheap, but they last a lifetime, because there's no way. See how thick these are compared to the other shoes. Very, very thick. But again, what I want to stress with wool, this whole merino wool, the hiking, all of this wool, various degrees, some of them are mixing with polyester, but if you get just 100% merino wool, yes, there's heavier stuff, there's thinner stuff, there's even lighter stuff, and this keeps you warm, but also keeps you the air, cool. That's what I was thinking of. So let me just think here. So this is a rain boot. And you can see again how thick they are. And the nice thing about this is I have a pair of boots just like this. I can wear these in the rain, not necessarily in the rain, but when there's some moisture outside, because I've got this. Not all the boots have that, as you'll see. I didn't bring the other ones. Yeah, so this is the one like my daughter's. So this is this is where she got the oh, you're wearing an boot insert. But this would have been on the outside. This stripe would have been on the outside. But you can see there's not much in the way of there. But so warm, barefoot, minus 30. You could walk in these. I'll just see if there's, yeah, you can see just how thick they are. So there's getting the right sizes. Yes, absolutely. So let me show you the kids ones, because the kids ones are so cool. So you got pink, and you got blue, and then just like the gray ones that you just saw, they have kid ones in that. So they have a number of kid ones, but again, passed down for generations and generations. So hearing the stories of Finland, Finnish, and how they do, they would just hand these down generations after generations. They last that long, and they still make them the same way that they did hundreds of years ago. Now, just because fashion is fashion, and they can do what they can do, and people like matching boots with purses, don't necessarily have to, but I just want to show you a couple of the purses. One I did get, which I'm going to show you, that one. To me, it's the, the color, and then so everything is leather, but again, very thick. You can see, very thick, and I've had mine for a few years, in great shape. So everything is there, but the cute one, here's a cute one. Again, just color. Remember I say color for cars, I imagine. But this is like a single strap, which kind of goes over the shoulder very easily. But yeah, bright colors. So Wolf, and I'm going to put the link down below so you can have a look, because the purses are only, I don't memorize it, so the bags and the shoes are $30, regular a couple of $100 or more, and the boots are like $298 or $328 depending the range, and they're only for $60. I think the kids' boots are probably cheaper. What else? I think that's it. There's wooden jewelry you're going to see on there, and that's really cheap, like 20 bucks, 10 bucks, but they may be originally 100 and something, 200 and something. Bracelets, earrings, $68, $58, 10 bucks. So you might find, if you got some Christmas money, you might find some things. But if you go on, just read about the story. Read about the story. And I think stories to me is understanding. I didn't know about the wolf felt wear, as in that's it. You didn't need the rubber. They didn't put any of that stuff on. They would just go out in the winter. So then that's where I was wearing bare feet in my wool shoes, even, not even just the boots, but even the wool shoes. And people could see me that I had bare feet, and very warm, extremely warm. So that's why wool felt wear, if you're getting boots, get the wool felt inserts, the pure wool, the 100 wool, because they would let your feet breathe and would be very warm. So that's that. I just wanted to talk about that. I'm breaking often. Okay. Might be there. We'll have to try and watch the video later. It keeps glitching. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Everything seems to be fine here, but we'll see how it goes with the replay. I did want to talk a number of things, and so that's something new. That's the segment there. And I'm going to go see. I'm going to go through this, and when I go through the information, I'm going to come back and I'm going to see whether or not this is still glitching, or if it's very disjointed, because I'll just bring and talk about it again. So the idea is, what I keep hearing is different things from people regarding science. That's the science. Follow the science. The science. It's almost like they're just worshiping science. And so my question to everybody here, a little bit of homework, is what is science? What is science? Now, I've read by Richar Feynman about science, what is science, but really sit with that. Do your own research. See what it says about science, because anybody who's a scientist that I talk to, and I mention what Richar Feynman says, they'll say, yes, science is observing. And in the observing, you make up stuff. You see stuff that happens, and repeatedly it may happen the same way. But there is so much here that is made up. So this is similar to the not Homo Sapiens, but the Sapiens book, where one of the key things I got from the Sapiens book is that everything is made up. Everything is made up. Everything's made up. So some of it's probably out of survival, no question about it, making things easier. And while other things might just be completely for the capitalism gone bad, which is what Sapiens speaks to, all the purchasing that we would do, all of the consumerism that we do. And that's the, that's the crux of the matter. We have that. So let's ask ourselves the question, what is science? Look it up, even if it's just dictionary stuff that you're looking up or somewhere. See how the different answers come across, but it's not absolute. And that's what I get into the next theory. Theory people use, Darwin theory, evolution theory. It's a theory. And ask people when they say things like they want everybody to believe it, give some credence to it for whatever reason it is, and trying to convince people to believe things a certain way. Is that a theory? And when they say science, well, science has changed. Science has learned different things. It's very limited, maybe more limited in certain topics, and not so much limited here. But it's still limited. And the other thing is models. So not the runway models, not the beautiful fashion magazine models, but the models that they would use to determine what's going to happen or to determine how things could come about. Now, models, they can be very complicated, so you don't quite actually get to see what they put into the model. But at the end of the day, the models are at best somebody's idea as to what factors or what inputs are put in, and they are going to mean something. Hopefully, they're going to mean something. And in some ways, the models that they run through, only in hindsight will you see if the models were good or not. And then you could ask the question, well, maybe not this time, but maybe another time they may work. So let's just agree that there are models being used in science, in theory, and in this event that's happened, that they projected certain numbers. They did not come to fruition. They agree, they as in the various leaders, but not on mainstream media, that the models were at best flawed. And the person who actually made the models, if anybody had, how can I say it, privy to ask the leaders or the ones who made these decisions what these models were, or question the models, and could there have been a third or second model to give us an idea with what factors, that may have been helpful. But that was never a choice. At least I didn't get to ask it. So other people probably didn't get to ask either. They pick and choose based on what, and then don't give us enough information, and are at best the information that they only want us to see for the reasons they want us to see. So do I believe, and I've told this to a couple of people today on my little walk, I said, this is all about the Great Reset. And I say it that way because that's what our own Prime Minister Trudeau says. The Great Reset. Now all you have to do is go on the Economic Forum. I think it's just Economic Forum. It's just kind of a shorter. And the Global Forum Economic and the Canadian Agenda 2030. Apparently more countries have their own too. And you could see how they want to make a difference in the world, from poverty to having everybody have a computer. Now, you may or may not have seen the new tech glitches, but I'm going to say what I've read and what I've heard. And so imagine this. You have your, now I gotta kind of remember this now, heater. You have your heater or lighting system hooked up to, let's just call it Mr. Google. You have your heating or your security hooked up, for all the greatness that technology has. But it goes down. It goes down. So you have these boards this technology, the only way it's going to work is if things are running. And if things are not running and you do not have the connection and it goes down, you may not have access to open things. Now, I know there's what they call electric garage door openers and this and that, and if certain things electrically go down, you know, you're not going to be able to open your door. And I actually remember this happening to people where electricity's out, so they can't open their garage door. They have to go in through the side door, and or they can still do it manually. So can you imagine where if they want certain things to happen the way they want to happen, and we have these outages, you're going to be stuck without things working, perhaps as great as heat. And that's going to think of electrical cars. What if you didn't have electricity for a week? They ain't going anywhere. Well, then all the pumps are electrical. Gas pumps never always used to be electrical, but now they are. So they wouldn't work. So we get into more of a dilemma or more of a controlling things if we have this automated technology world. And I'm not going to go too dark. Sapiens go dark enough in this world. And to me, I'm just going to call it seeding. I'd rather it go in one ear and go out another ear, where they're going to bring in a machine and certain things so that you don't have to think for yourself, and you can do the things you didn't do before, or you can run faster, whatever it is. Half machine, half man. I'm going to leave it as that. But it goes beyond that. It goes beyond into the place where you can't think for yourself, or as I'll call critical thinking, or even higher self-thinking, gut thinking. Like, the brain has a lot going for it that you'll even have read. They only know 10% about what the brain does. Now, I still joke, and I'll say this again, because it's in this little share here is the crux of some things, where they'll say, we only know 10%. And I say, but you can't know you know only 10% if you don't know 100%. It's illogical that you know 10% if you don't know 100%. But if you know 100%, then you can know that this portion is only 10% or 20% or 50%. But otherwise you can't. I hope that wasn't too confusing. But the idea is, where we are right now is finding your unique true self. That's where we are in a lot of ways. That if you look around, and when I'm talking to people, more and more people are trying to make sense of this situation. And if they haven't made sense, they have allowed the TV and television and government and whatever to make sense for them, which is, this isn't going anywhere. We told you a pandemic was coming. How the heck do they know a pandemic's coming? No, they wouldn't know. Just like you wouldn't know which cars are going to pass you as you're driving up the road. You wouldn't know. How do you know? How do they know? Unless they were planning it. So the idea is, everything coming out of China, red flag. Asymptomatic, red flag. You don't have a deadly virus and be asymptomatic. I'm sorry. That's just not how it works. It's not logical. But for some reason, people believe them, and that made it so much easier to take us down the road where people are then, yeah, you got to wear your mask. Masks don't work. You got to what of all of this people that you don't understand, even from the government and authorities saying the masks don't work, but the mainstream media and the numbers and the charts and everything just keep people held in the drama and the event that we have. It is crazy. So one of the things I want to make sure that we understand is that we are having an experience, okay? A living life experience. And it's sad to hear the people that have lost hope in their lives. You know, their business goes down, they have 4 kids and a wife, and they commit suicide. Another person knows 2 people who, I think it was even a mother in one case, a father in another, women, I think, both committed suicide. So these stories exist for the reasons that they do, that this event is causing a lot of chaos, causing a lot of stress for people. And the corporations and government are, well, that's what it is. It is what it is. And we've got to save lives. And, you just got to kind of turn it all upside down and say, saving lives, well, what are you talking about? Ever since you've started vaccinating, you got more allergies. Ever since you started vaccinating, you've got more autoimmune diseases. Ever since you got medicines, well, now you've got the third leading cause of death due to the experimenting of medications, because you don't test medications for how people are when there's 3, 4, 5, 6 medications, or as much as even 19 with one client I had. But definitely 10, 12, and then everything else is coming. Hey sis, is coming at us. So if you have confidence in the medical, we're not saying that the medical doesn't have purpose. Oh my God, it doesn't mean that medical hasn't done some good. But think about the whole pharmaceutical arm of the doctors, where they only have 5 minutes to talk to you, something ridiculous like that. There's no getting to know the patient, which is the doctors of the old used to. That was their key mantra in the old books that I've read, not even 100 years ago. Get to know the patient. Now, somebody mentioned recently that they don't even take the Hippocratic Oath anymore, that's gone by the wayside. It doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me at all. And that the change and chaos and everything is a great opportunity to make such changes that are, well, I guess you could say that they're not taking a Hippocratic Oath, so that's not going to sit with the medical doctors when they're doing what they're doing. It's almost like they can feel more comfortable doing what they're doing, and it's all in line of science. Well, what is science? What are we guinea pigs at the end of the day? But yes, we have been, and they've done this in many respects, be it military, already known from the military, from people who've been in the military, to the H1N1 flu. We're on 60 Minutes, they said. But so things have already come out. It's just that people don't have enough time. I don't blame them. Why should they spend all their time on what the crookedness within the world, or the evil, or the chaos within the world? But all of that helps us tune into and take it to the next level, to go through. My video is off. Interesting. It's on again. Okay, I'm not touching anything, but perhaps, and just perhaps, they are fooling around with my technology on different words that I say. A lot of people are being censored, no question about it, and I'm not touching anything, so I'm not quite sure, the crazy things that are going on, and we're going to see how it's going to play out here, but I'm not going to stay much longer. I think the idea is there's much going on. The alien things is coming out, just a little bit of the news. The aliens, you're seeing many more shows around the world news. They're breaking news. Aliens. Trump knows about aliens. These people have known for aliens, and we've made contact, and you'll see all of that. That's been spoken of for decades, but you can see that it's starting to come out. So whether it's coming out here, I don't know. I don't watch the mainstream news. But I was watching clips of many of the news, many different news stations, be it, I'm not sure where they're from, but they're speaking English. So they're either from Europe, Australia, North America, but they're speaking about it. So what else is in the news? Yeah, so there's that. So the seeding the mind of what they want and what to be fearful of. If the viruses don't work, then let's make the people feel fearful of aliens as their enemy. And this has been put in movies many times over. I'm going to speak briefly about the TV show series, The Good Place. If you haven't watched The Good Place, I don't want to ruin it for you. And I'm not a big movie watcher. I mean, probably watched Outlander and the Game of Thrones. Some of it's curiosity, some is being able to study. Some had to do with traveling to Ireland and Scotland as well. But the idea is you can study the movies and the shows, or you can get lost in them and have an entertainment factor for sure. But it's interesting in there that they talk about all the various ways you can torture people, and all the different things that kind of bring in, that makes you feel bad or get emotional. But without saying too much, the idea of the show is bringing forth how we do torture each other in some ways, but that how it is easy to make up shit, you know, what I said earlier about everything is made up, so that it turns out like a soap opera, which is made up, right? Absolutely. They make up all these stories, bring characters, everybody here is a character, we're all a character, and certain things can come in to, can be made up to trip us up, and to do all these things. So this event is no different. You do have divisiveness, whether you're for this or against that, vaccines being one of them, wanting to believe certain things happening or not having any evidence of it happening, being able to question but yet not get answers. So all of these things would drive people crazy. And of course, money drives people the most crazy when they're in that predicament, which is why suicides, as I hear, is up. You know, it's up and happening, and in very crazy ways. And not that they couldn't make it through it and do that, but for some reason they chose not to. But the idea is, we're living and we have life, and you've got choice, and we have the freedom, and we have the freedom to feel good and to bring that in more and more. But that doesn't mean we've got to kind of let go things, that we kind of have to accept things the way they are, believe, be brave, be courageous, be kind. All of those things still come into play, but we're going to be living life, end of story. There's not going to be a magical poof and we're in a different place and it's all understood. No, we don't. Most people don't even know that life and living is encompassing the various things until they get to a certain understanding and kind of realize, which is what happens in The Good Place. You gotta have to watch the first series to see how that works. So to figure it out, that's what I kind of want to bring out of that into this and finish this conversation, is to figure things out. Figure it out. Figure out what science is. Figure out what they've made it to be, what it isn't, and it's a nice, lovely name, and we give names to everything, labels to everything, to ourselves, to others, judgments, all kinds of things. Yes, we have unique character for sure, but there's more to it than what most people are focusing on. So that is just figure it out. Figure out why you're feeling the way you're feeling. Figure out what it is that make you happy. Figure out some of what's going on in this event. Question, get curious. If you've done a lot of research, then you kind of know. You're probably just getting more of the same research, the latest update. Of course, they're going to try and give you something new, but in essence, it's more of the same thing. So I'm just sitting back and seeing what's going to happen with the whole election thing, just imagining what I do want. And yeah, made my baked beans yesterday, so be able to have those yummy baked beans. Those things, whether, and being in the kitchen playing with food is fun for me. Do whatever's fun for you. Just bring that into your day more and more and more and more, and then see what else comes up. Absolutely, see what comes up. But I'm having crazy dreams because I'm watching this Good Place. Yeah, The Good Place. I'm having crazy dreams. Certain things are popping in, and I know it's because I'm watching what I'm watching. So the imagery and the scenarios and the scenes and all of that. And that's what happens when we watch a lot of TV. So the idea would be at this point in time to meet up and talk and get together with people and talk about things. You don't really get the same dreaming when you're doing that. So it's a bit different. And it allows for more clarity of what's kind of coming through your dreams rather than what's coming through as far as watching the movies and things. But I hope that makes sense. So let's tell a couple of jokes. I'm going to get some ready here. And then I'll check the video to see if it really is screwy. If it's really screwy, then I'll just do it all again, and you can just not do that. So let's go through a couple here. What do you get when you cross a dyslexic, an insomniac, and an agnostic? Someone who lies awake at night wondering if there is a dog. Should be God, but yes. So there you go. Dyslexic, spelt dog, God wrong. Next one. What do you do if you're attacked by clowns? What do you do if you're attacked by clowns? Go for the juggler. I'm going to read one more because this is, they kind of all fall into different things. Why did the Clydesdale give the thoroughbred a glass of water? Why did the Clydesdale, so the Clydesdales are those big workhorses, give the thoroughbred a glass of water? It was horse. Spelt a little differently, of course, but it was horse. So that's our jokes for the day. So I'll check out the video, see what it is. I've kind of didn't go through all of the news for that reason. I can always bring that into tomorrow. So we'll see how the video's going, and hopefully it works out after the fact, but we'll see. We'll see what it is. So I just wish everybody, if for some reason I don't see you, Happy New Year. If most likely I will, either tomorrow night or the night after. But if I don't, Happy New Year. Have fun. Make it whatever it is to you. There's nothing like, as most people will agree, having your space, having it quiet, relaxing, taking care of yourself, maybe a luxurious bath, maybe the movie that you want to watch that nobody else wants to watch. Maybe it's the movie you want to watch again. Maybe it's the book you've been trying to get some peace and time. Whatever it is, I know that not necessarily being alone is a bad thing. Make it your space, make it your time, and make whatever you want to eat or have, however that is. So take care. Most likely I'll see you next couple of days, but take care, and big hugs, and stay calm, be happy, have fun, and we'll see you again at Live at 5 once again. Another time. Take care. Bye for now.